I was very impressed with the books. They're, you know, they're political. They're kind of a political tract with adolescent overtones. You know, in a larger scope, it really is about what is our political system? How do we arrive at it? Who are we within it? Which was really fascinating to me. Hope is about possibility. Hope is about change, and it's about having some personal power. So I think if the characters in Mockingjay or in anywhere in the Hunger Games are hopeless, that means that they don't feel that they can affect change. And Katniss in particular is someone who, you know, what everyone responds to is that she's a real girl. And she also has some moral ambiguity. You know, she doesn't feel like she always knows what the right thing is to do. She sort of acts from her impulses. District 13 really looks like a bomb shelter, and that's what it is. It's all been built on, you know, just hundreds of feet underground, so it can withstand any kind of attack and detection. You know, basically the Capitol believes that they've destroyed this district, that everyone is dead, but these people have managed to kind of eke out a living and take what little they have and bring it down there and not exactly prosper. I mean, I think they barely have enough to eat. In the book, it describes them all as being very, very thin, which I thought was interesting, that basically they've been, you know, living on these tiny rations. And I don't think, and it's not a place where there's a lot of light, it's not a lot of laughter, there's not a lot of fun. I think it's people just barely getting by. I read all the books, I read them all the way through, and I'm like, I want to be in this movie. And clearly, that was the only part that I could play. Coin is very sparingly drawn because you don't know who she is, because she's only spoken about from Katniss's point of view. And Katniss immediately distrusts her in the way that sometimes a young person will distrust an older person who's not familiar to them or is in a position of authority. So Frances and I talked about that a lot, about, well, how do we communicate Coin's wholeness as a person? I mean, I think Katniss's response to her is very well drawn, but you don't know who Coin is. There's a very interesting scene where the Capitol bombs District 13, and Coin, rather than retaliating, opts to do nothing. And I think that sort of speaks volumes about who she is as a leader, is that she's not about to risk revealing herself and her population in a fight when she knows that they're better served by lying low and letting it blow over. Jennifer Lawrence is a great girl and very funny, and most importantly, has a great sense of humor and ease about her on the set. So just the fact that she's happy to be there and fun to be with and laughs a lot made it very easy for me to be there, because I don't, you know, I want to have a good time when I'm working, and she does too, clearly. So I think that, you know, the relationship that we have as characters is not necessarily the relationship we have as people. I think Francis is a great director, and what he's able to do visually is really exciting. I mean, you can see that in Catching Fire. So I'm very excited to see what he does with Mockingjay.